I'm ready to build the door, and my opening here is 48 inches wide by 75 tall, so it's a little bit under standard height. Given the 48 inches wide, I wanted to do 2 doors, which makes it 24 inches each door. And then I've got some 1 inch by 6 inch board, 4 times 6. Jeez, of course, people know math. And so 4 boards per door, and I ended up cutting them at 80 inches in case I could ever use them somewhere else. They'll still be cut at a standard height. And because I actually want my door to overlap a little bit here at the bottom, maybe by 1 inch, and a couple inches there at the top. When your doors fold in, then it makes them much stronger to have something at least at the top and bottom that they butt up against. So I've already cut my board, again 80-inch lengths, and then my cross pieces go on next. These are cut to 22 inches where my doors are 24. So you bring them in 1 inch on either end, and we're about to measure out where these need to go so that when I close my door, I want it to actually rest on one of these boards like this here. So if I want 1 inch overhang here, I need to put one of these only 1 inch up from the bottom. Okay, I'll line up all my ends here using 1 piece of wood, and then I want 1 inch stepped in for this bottom board. Okay. That's at 10. That's at 10. We're a little over 1 inch in there. There, that should do it. Okay, my top and bottom cross pieces are in place. The last board is, I don't know if you'd call it lateral strength, but you're going to go from this corner here and line your board up. And we're going to run that up to this outside corner right here. And then we'll take this and we'll make a mark. I'm not very good at figuring out angles, but this is a way to cheat at that. You outsmarting me in school, are you?
Yep.
Brains of the operation.
Yeah, and I'm still taller than you too.
Not yet, you aren't. Okay, we're going to line this up here. Okay, that wedged in there nicely. You don't want this here to protrude past your board over here.
My dad's a noob.
Okay, so there's the front of our door. Here's the back. Here's where this is going to mount. I'm going to need another board running here in order to put my hinges on for this door to swing. So that's next. We're going to have to build this out 1 more inch, and then we'll get our hinges on, and we've got our doors rocking. Okay, so we are going to use a little bit more lumber doing our door frame this way, but it's going to make for stronger doors where they have a top and bottom to butt up against. And it gives us the opportunity to cover this seam that's running down our door frame right here. Knowing my doors are going to be pretty tight, I don't want to go all the way to the edge of this here. So I'm just going to allow a little bit of room. And we'll try putting this up, though, that it still covers that seam. And then we always put the level on it to make sure we're straight up and down. That's it right there. I'll fasten this down, and then we're going to hinge our door. Because I designed this with this board here at the bottom, that's going to rest on my bottom tread. It should be very easy to hinge. I am so smart.
No, you're not, Dad.
So that now can just sit there, which is a huge help when it comes to hinging a door. And we want to get our hinges evenly spaced, so I'll measure that next.
Make sure not to edit this out, Dad. She had a little mishap with the door. It came over, and when I saw it, I was like, okay, it's surely not to break. It breaks into 100 different pieces, and like it scatters everywhere over the floor. And I'm like, Dad, that's your carpentry skills right there. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Just so you know.
Okay, so we measured up 12 inches from the bottom for this hinge. There's straight up and down. See here the overlap at the bottom of the door and up there at the top, so that makes it very hard to bang these doors inward. Down here, here's the board that rests on the step here, and so that takes the weight of the door off of the hinges whenever the door's closed. Hinges are on. It's a moment of truth. See if this works. And there's our first door. A little bit stiff at the bottom. Even with this easy method that I just showed of setting your door and hinging it, I still find I hate doing hinging doors. Our door frame is done. Our door is on. We'll get the other one on next, and then we'll move on to some other portion of this project. We are about to do the door handles and what will also be the lock on the inside of the door. And before I go ahead and fasten these brackets on, I have to build this out an inch so that our lateral supports here on the door don't interfere with this. And it'll also make it sturdier here where this is going to be at, to have another inch of board on the door here. I've already got door handles on the outside that are at this height. Right above the door handles, we want to have our padlock on the outside, and so we want this to go on right about here, that the padlock can also come into it. Okay, so I don't interfere with my doors opening and closing. We're going to stagger this in an inch and then line this corner up with our lateral support, and then mark down here where it comes out. We'll draw a line and make that angle cut, and then we can fasten this on. Second piece is cut. I'll put this on the door right across from the first piece. Right there it is. Lastly, we put our bracket in place, and we just need to make sure there's enough space for our 2x4 to fit here, and then slide through. There's the lock from the inside. Both doors are on the outside of the door frame, so they hit on the bottom, sides, and top of the door, which means it would be very difficult to kick these doors inward. And with this here, it would also be very hard to pull them out in that direction from the outside. And so then on the outside of the doors, we're just going to put a simple padlock that's going to screw into these boards here. Seldom you would ever bother with a lock here. But these here serve as your handles for coming and going out of your building, as well as for the locking mechanism.